On it goes. Question now, is this defamatory? Could this get her in hot legal water? And is it invasion of privacy? If you get a divorce, can your spouse do this to you? Let's ask our panel. Criminal defense attorney Jonna Spilbor and Fox News legal analyst Arthur Aidala. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Okay. This is it's incredible to watch on YouTube. I mean, anybody who's ever been in a relationship of any kind is sitting there going, oh, the horror. Hold on, let me just play like a little snippet so our viewers get a feel, and then we'll bring you in.
Well, his lawyer, David Aronson, called up Cindy Adams. Actually, he said it was Sharesky called up Cindy Adams. And she called me and told me that's how it got in that column. But he's putting all that blame on me. It's kind of denial. So that's basically it. This is my home, or was my home, which I'm being evicted from. In 2008, can you believe? Husband has no grounds for divorce, and he's trying to evict me for $750,000. I live, huh? Oh yeah, they tried to.
And that's the least of his problems in terms of what she says on that thing. Jonna, does this woman have the right to do this? She gets on there, talks about their sex life, about how they weren't really having much of one, and goes into the details on that. Is she allowed to do this legally?
I think so. This is more an act of desperation, not defamation. And as they say, all's fair in love and war, and divorce pretty much combines the two. And this woman's not, you know what she's doing? She's like 99% of the people who are getting divorced who walk into my office. They are hurt, they are desperate, and she's telling her side of the story. And if it's true, there's no case for defamation.
All right, now it's clear she has the right to say what she wants to say, Arthur, but the thing that's different about this case is she posted it in a public forum. This is the equivalent of putting all this stuff in the New York Times. Does that change the legalities of it?
Yes, and what Jonna just said is if it's true, there's not an issue. But if it's not true, then it's straight up slander. If, in fact, I mean, she says, and you played it on the clip, they never had sex. If, in fact, they did, and he's credible, and they did, or he's not suing him for $750,000, whatever she said, if she's lying, then that's straight up slander. And, you know, there's a fine line as to where her rights to freedom of speech end and his rights to privacy begin. And this is something, Megan, that we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg in terms of litigation and maybe legislation as to what's going to be acceptable and permitted to be placed on the internet and what is not.
Well, that's the thing, John. I mean, even you got two potential claims here at least. Defamation claim against her, and it's not just these two. It's any married couple who goes through some sort of public divorce where this kind of thing could happen. You got a potential defamation claim. You got a potential invasion of privacy claim. It's the latter that interests me. Does any spouse have an expectation of privacy in the course of a marriage that would kick in to prevent the other spouse upon divorce from doing this kind of thing?
I think you're on to something there. Well, I don't think this is defamation. And frankly, Arthur, I don't see how it's slanderous to say we didn't have sex. If she was saying we didn't have good sex, that might be slanderous.
But if they did have sex, if she's lying about it, that's slander. If that's just a falsehood, then that's slanderous.
What this really is an invasion of privacy, because in New York, I'm assuming that's where this couple lives, these records are private. You can't get them unless you're a party or an attorney. So when she puts that out there on YouTube, now you may have a problem. But again, it doesn't rise to the level of defamation.
What about it, Arthur? Is there a legal difference between her calling up her girlfriend and saying we had no sex life, and then after he tells me he wants a divorce, I find Viagra and I find pornographic magazines, which is what she alleges on the tape and so on? Is there a difference between her telling the best girlfriend that and putting it on YouTube and getting 1 million hits?
Yes, obviously there's a tremendous difference to his exposure, to his humiliation, to his to the way it affects his livelihood, to the way it affects his life. And in this particular case, Megan, there are no children involved. But I would love to see what a family court judge would have to say if there was a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old who was able to access the internet and was able to see the mother's rantings, what a judge would say and how the judge would limit the mother's ability to post this blog. Because in the best interest of the child, that's not helping the child whatsoever.
I got to go, but I want to ask quickly, will this affect her in the divorce case, Jonna? Does this affect that at all?
Probably not. We're talking about property and splitting money. It's not going to do that. And my best advice to her is the best revenge is living well. Get off YouTube.
Nice. Jonna Spilbor, Arthur Aidala, thanks so much for being here. One final word for our viewers. This woman has the right to say what she wants about her soon-to-be ex, as long as it is either a provable fact or it's expressed as opinion. But putting it on YouTube does raise issues of privacy, and I agree with Jonna. Put a period at the end of that relationship and move along, sister.